Abbott Elementary, Season 5, Episode 15, Safety Day, and Episode 16 are over, but we are back, and class is back in session here on Abbott Elementary, a Post Show Recap, brought to you by recapkickback.com. It's me, your host, Chappell, and we are back again to talk to you about another pair of episodes from Season 5 of Abbott Elementary as we approach what looks like the soon-to-be finale of Season 5, and potentially, of course, we know Season 6 is coming soon. With me to talk about that and all future episodes of Abbott and the future Abbott Elementary movie that we are manifesting, it's the principal here, Gia Worthy. Principal Gia, welcome back.
Thank you, Chappell. We're planning for like a whole Abbott Elementary like cinematic universe. I was like, this can be a franchise by the time I'm talking like action figures.
Yes.
What was that?
Books.
I literally blanked after action
books.
figures.
Movies,
we need
video
TV
games,
shows, spin-offs to
lunch
the
boxes.
TV shows. Eventually a streaming service with all of the Abbott specific things on there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I have excellent Abbott related news. So,
okay, what do you got?
Yes. I got the Ava Coleman Funko Pop. But since our last, hold on. Give me a second. I know where it is. Wow. I'm going to go run and get it. It'll take me like a second.
No, Ava having a Funko Pop sounds actually perfect for Ava. You know, I didn't even know Abbott had a full line of Funko Pops. I'm going to look those up while Gia is running off to get hers, because I don't really, I don't collect anything. But if you told me that I could make a little Abbott Elementary collection, I would definitely down. I'm looking at them now on Amazon. So what you got?
All right. So I was shopping for my stepmom's birthday, right? She also watches Abbott, but you know, like we have similar taste in shows. So I was looking through Barnes & Noble. They got a nice little Funko Pop section and movies and stuff in the one I went to. And I found, so I got her Barbara Howard, so I don't have that one on me. But I got the Ava Coleman Funko Pop.
Hey!
This is Season 1 Ava, if you recognize the ombre hair and the outfit.
Right.
And so they only had Barbara and Ava there. But if you look on the back here,
the whole crew,
you can see that they also have Janine and Gregory.
Okay. All right.
I'm hoping as we get further into the show, because obviously the show is a huge success, we will get more Abbott Elementary merchandise over the years. I'm very confident in that. But I'm hoping soon we will get a Jacob, Melissa, and a Mr. Johnson. And maybe if we're lucky, maybe like a Tariq. I think that would be fun.
Yeah. We keep this going long enough. We could just get everybody. I want to have the whole collection and set it up like how people set up those nativity scenes Christmas. You know, like
who would be baby Jesus?
There. Mr. Johnson.
You're right.
Yeah.
That would absolutely yes.
Mr. Johnson. Yeah. I just feel like we have so many characters to choose from. Like you said, the core group is already 6 or 7 people. But now you get, you know, we got the spinoff characters as well. We got our cafeteria people. We have, of course, the best friends. We have the siblings as well. Yes. We got Janine's mom. So there's a lot of people that we can add in, and that's not even including the kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Listen, I think, you know, sometimes Funko Pop, they do like the duo ones, like if it's a pair group in there. We need a Jacob and Morton Abbott Elementary pair, because that would absolutely be like worst case scenario for both of them, and I love it.
We get like an Ava and Daya kind of sidekick one as well.
Not Janine, sorry. Melissa and Barbara absolutely need to be in a duo. Abbott Elementary, like maybe when they're drunk at the conference, like the day after with their sunglasses and no shoes. Like I can definitely see that.
I have an idea. It's gonna sound crazy, and I don't want to actually do it, but I just want to talk about doing it. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. We have enough characters, I think, for a Brant Steele. Who do you think would win Abbott Elementary simulated season of Survivor that you and I could actually do here on this very podcast, along with our special guest Isaiah Goins?
See, I feel like I know you're saying this hypothetical and you don't want to do it, but now we're definitely doing it.
We have to do it, right? Like you kind of have to do it.
Yes, we kind of have to now. Maybe like once we get after the season finale of season 5. So we have a few weeks. It gives us some time. We'll be kind of in the middle of like Survivor and the other shows that we watch. So that's a good time to do it. And then so I would say like maybe like Mayish, April, late April, around there. We could definitely get it done. But if I'm okay, I have thought about this. Who would win in a simulated season of Survivor? Now, I think there are the two obvious candidates here of Ava and Mr. Johnson. Ava,
absolutely,
survival specialist. Mr. Johnson is a godly presence amongst us mere mortals. So that makes sense that one of them would win. I also think Mr. Johnson, because he often goes between all the groups, would be a very big social threat, and that he could definitely play like the flipping back and forth game between the alliances. I could definitely see that, but I don't think the main cast would win. We can kind of discount some of them already. Like Barbara's not staying out there too long. Janine's getting voted out.
Barbara was very happy to go camping in that one episode,
but she had her fancy bathroom. They don't have that out on Survivor. They might give her a Charmin outhouse,
a Casa de Charmin. I can see it.
But I don't think that. I don't know if that would cover it. And I certainly don't think that, listen, we know Barbara likes things a certain way, right?
She does.
So, and I think without those amenities available to her, it'd be a little different. Maybe for $1 million, she'd be a little more willing. But I would put my money on one of the side characters because I think the main cast would eventually go after each other. So I would say realistically, maybe like a Shanae. I think Shanae would do great on Survivor. And I just like, sometimes you like feel a kindred spirit on shows where I'm like, this girl watches reality TV. Like she has she pays for Big Brother live feeds. Okay.
She does.
Like she
absolutely
does.
Like a real
I think the whole cafeteria crew watches Big Brother during the summer. I just get that vibe from them. Maybe Miss Inez. I think she's like she's giving like a immunity run, like immunity run in the early stages, and then she gets voted out like mid-merge. And also the majority of the cast is Black, so Black people probably will go during the split tribal council again, but
we got plenty to choose from. Yeah, we got some more.
Or they reverse it, and it's Jacob and Melissa that go during the split tribal council. But I would say probably one of those. For the cast, for the staff members, probably them would win. If we're getting into like some of the supporting cast, I'd say, this is hard. I feel like there is somebody that I'm missing that would actually no. Zach wouldn't do too well either. I feel like Zach also likes things a certain way.
Yeah. He needs the sneakers.
Yeah.
So, okay, listen. Fun thought exercise, but also something we could do.
Morton's first vote. Absolutely.
Yeah, but don't you want to drag him to the end as a GOAT?
I don't think they'll make it that far. I think the minute his tribe loses, they're voting him out.
Well, we have to.
Dom could be a good one.
Okay, I can see
it. He seems like a reliable number. He could probably get like he's not in the Ava inner circle, but I think he would be somebody that people would he gives like the Natalie White edit, like he's not doing all the devious stuff. He's letting other people like do kind of the more diabolical moves in there, but he's at the end sitting pretty and hasn't made anybody mad, and he's pretty likable, so I could see that.
Well, look, we'll put a pin in that, and we might. I mean, we're probably going to do it. We're probably going to do it with that eventually. We're going
to do it. It's just a
I don't
matter
know why
of
it took us this long to come up with this idea, but but that's neither here nor there.
I feel like we have talked about it in some way beforehand. Now, if we're talking about who's winning Big Brother, the answer is Erica. I'm not hearing any other.
I'm not hearing any debates.
I'm not hearing any. Maybe Tariq, but he's giving more the Keanu fan favorite one. But Erica's winning Big Brother 27.
Okay, so.
Oh wait, did Ashley win 27?
Ashley already won 27.
Yeah, Erica's winning Big Brother 28.
Okay, we'll put a pin in that. So, this episode, episode 15, Safety Day. I don't know what I thought it was going to be about, but Gia, I was not expecting the district to be so broke that they would want to have all 3 safety trainings at one time. Fire department training, Fade is back, and the return of the story samurai all at once.
Honestly, I also did not know what Safety Day was going to entail. And I also, I kind of got the idea that we were going to maybe get a few of our side characters returning here. I was very, very happy with Safety Day. This went so much better for us than I expected, and I was laughing the entire way through. This was a great episode.
I want to start with Captain Robinson because he's back, and I was very excited to see him. But this storyline here, I'm so happy I get to talk to you, Gia, because I know you support women's rights and wrongs.
I do.
But I just think there were a lot of women's wrongs when we start looking at Melissa and her reaction to Captain Robinson getting a promotion to Chief Robinson. She hates this. It's a turnoff, and she's thinking about breaking up with this man for achieving. Gia, make it make sense.
I get it. No, I'm just
You're like, I understand. I understand.
I hate a man that's too uppity.
She's like, I didn't want a desk jockey, you need a man to go out there.
She doesn't want to swear.
Right.
I at first I was a little confused too, because they're thinking like better hours, more money. You don't have to do all like the
risk your life.
Yeah, you don't have to do all the jobs that you don't want to do. It's kind of, like this is a big deal. So I was a little confused at first. And then at first I thought it was just the fact that he's not doing all like the rugged work anymore. And I'm like, Melissa, girl, like it's not that serious. Like you don't even see him at work most of the time.
Right.
Like he's there. Like you don't need to know what he's doing. You can pretend he's still out in the field, rescuing cats, saving people from burning buildings or what have yous. But so I was a little confused. And then we get later into the episode and we can definitely see what the real concern here is. And the real concern is that she doesn't want to be squares, essentially, but she's going to think that they're going to start getting into the type of relationship she doesn't want, where they're settling down, they're doing all of this boring stuff, they're not going to be spontaneous anymore because he has this grown-up job versus the job that Melissa is used to him having. So I get it. I don't know why you'd be upset that your man is making more money. Like, couldn't be me. But I understand where she was coming from as we got further into the story. It started to make a little more sense. I was a little worried we were going to get another breakup this episode, though. And I was a little nervous for this couple, but I'm glad they made it through.
If they had broken up, this would have been the dumbest reason I've ever heard of breaking up with somebody.
When she said I was thinking of breaking up, I was like, is this going to be like untapping other issues that we just haven't seen yet? Because we don't see a lot of this couple. This is like a 2 or 3 times a season type couple, which is not the worst in the world for Melissa, but I was a little worried. I was a little worried when we first went into it, and it did feel like a very stupid reason to break up, but I'm glad we actually were able to see them work through it and have her actually talk out her feelings, and Barbara actually kind of put her in her place a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, this came to her in a dream from a coyote. So Barbara had some insight that we didn't realize was going to happen. Listen to me, Chief Robinson, if you're out there, I understand. I too am attracted to crazy women. So I get it. But at some point he's like, Melissa, you're crazy. And she goes, yes, I am. And he's okay with that. He's okay with that. Right. Yeah. So sometimes you're going to have fights about stuff that don't matter. You're going to have fights about stuff that make no sense. But when they're crazy, you have to accept the crazy all around. It can't be crazy sometimes. You have to be crazy about random things.
You got to fight crazy with crazy is real. Because he matched her energy by the end of it. He was like, yes, I have a desk job now. Like I am moving on up in the world of being a firefighter. However, I can still blow all this extra money on a motorcycle. I can still go on vacation. I can still buy stupid shit. I love buying stupid shit with my money, especially after you hear that you're getting a raise, right? Like that's right after payday, add to cart. Oh, it's great. Highly recommend for anybody.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, for anybody that hasn't just immediately started buying stuff the moment you get paid, especially after a little pay bump, try it. It feels amazing.
I've been budgeting all month because my first paycheck from my new gig is coming next week. And when I tell you that I've already started spending the money that's going to come in that check next week, I've been budgeting all month. The check is a week away. And I'm like, well, we basically already got the money. So, yeah, why not?
We're going to Atlanta soon. Like, we don't get to go to Atlanta every day.
Right,
you know?
Exactly.
Like, I've kind of already prepared what I'm going to spend my money on in Atlanta, you know?
Yeah. So I agree. Be a little reckless.
Yeah. I basically already broke from my upcoming paycheck.
Oh yeah,
like this is not going to come. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You know, I've already decided, and that's okay with me. Right. May will be when I start paying my bills again.
Sure.
Yeah.
So obviously we wrapped that storyline up, but I was concerned at moments. Barbara's storyline is a little bit in the background too. She's been having dreams, and ever since she started taking melatonin, you know, and so she's been getting some good sleep, and things have been happening in her dreams. Yeah. There's a dream about the coyote talking to her about, I don't know, discussing your feelings with the man you're dealing with. She has the volcano with the milk in it dream, which apparently is a sex dream. I think she also had a weird dream where she was like, my teeth were falling out of your mouth, Janine.
Okay. Do you have any weird reoccurring dreams?
I only have the tooth dream. I only have one dream. It happens at once a quarter, basically every 3 or 4 months. And I wake up and I think one of my teeth is missing. And that is a recurring nightmare, not a dream, a nightmare. But I am not one of those people who can remember all my dreams. You know, they say everybody dreams, but I can't remember mine. I can never remember my dream except for the ones when I wake up in a cold sweat thinking that my tooth is falling out.
I've had several odd dreams. Have you ever taken melatonin, Chappell?
I prefer it stronger.
Yeah. I take, because it's legal here, I take a CBD gummies to help me go to sleep from time to time. You know, everything above board in the great Commonwealth of Massachusetts. You know, nothing nefarious happening over in my lovely condominium. However, I have been known to have some weird dreams from time to time that often need interpreting. So I actually bought a dream dictionary that I use quite often to kind of interpret them. But my reoccurring dreams are either my teeth falling out or my eyebrows falling out. And I didn't shave the eyebrows, like the hair falls out and I just don't have eyebrows anymore. And then without fail, every time I wake up, I'm like concerned about what my face looks like and then have to check to make sure I still have eyebrows.
Did you look that up in your dream dictionary?
Yes, I believe it is a sign that I am stressed and worried about losing control, which makes sense. But also I have OCD, like diagnosed OCD. So like, that's just my brain. Like, that's not because of anything in particular. That just happens sometimes.
Resting Gia is just kind of, you know, maybe my eyebrow is going to fall off.
Sometimes you might lose an eyebrow, you know, and like, it's good to at least know what dream me would look like with no eyebrows. If it ever comes to that.
Yeah. If it does fall off, you have to send me a picture.
If it does, I will let you know what happens. I don't know. I guess it will depend on like why it fell out, like why I don't have eyebrows anymore. Is it like I shaved it out of like stress or just trying something out? Did it fall out because of some radiation situation, you know, some nuclear incident? I don't know. Like whatever happens, I'll let you know. It depends on the context.
I'll be waiting.
Yes.
So the other training we have here is Slimothy is back.
Yes.
And he's talking about obviously drugs and alcohol, but you know, drinking and driving and texting and driving. And so in conjunction with the story Samurai, they're kind of leading the kids on this journey of combining these efforts, right? This is a very poor district. They got to do the same exact training that the older kids would do. And so now we have some elementary school kids living in a simulation where somebody in their school has died from texting and driving. And that person is no longer allowed to speak throughout the entire school day. Ava seems like she's about to choose Jacob as her target, but Gregory opens his big mouth in defense of Jacob, and now he cannot open his mouth again because he is dead. Shut up. You're dead. Stop talking.
That was his last words.
Yeah. Stop talking. You're dead. The story samurai was killing me in this episode because he was fed up. Okay. He was not having all the rule breaking. You're dead. Stop talking.
Yeah. I need him back immediately as like, I think Abbott needs a drama teacher at this point. Like, he was amazing.
Yeah. He was so committed. He was so committed. Like, obviously to the drama.
He ran Story Samurai like the Navy. I don't even know who those people were the last time they were here. Like, you guys don't know anything. You got like, what is this? What is this? You guys are a mess. This guy runs a tight ship, and he is not letting rule-breaking, unruly teachers get away with chatting away when they are dead, and they know good and well they are dead.
Did you ever do a safety training similar to any of these while you were in school?
So, kind of. So, okay. There's a lot of Gia lore around this. Gia went to Catholic school for like the elementary years, like the Abbott Elementary grades, like that would be covered with this stuff. So we had like Catholic Dare, which I think is just Dare, but like, you know, they gotta put Catholic themes into it. And then as we got older, it was very much like, so texting was not a big thing when I was a kid, right? So a lot of the texting and driving stuff didn't come until I was probably like just starting high school, like in 8th grade when texting became really big. So we didn't have a lot on like texting and driving. The thing I found really funny is like the drinking and driving, texting and driving thing. Not that those are funny. Nobody clipped this to say Gia thinks drinking and driving or texting or driving is funny.
That's what she said.
But, yep. That's what the recap kickback TikTok is going to show. But the funny thing is that like, these are obviously like very young kids. So they're like explaining the dangers of, texting and driving and drinking and driving to kindergartners, and simulating a car crash, which is insane. To people that are like 10 years away from even getting a learner's permit. And so we had that. What was the closest we got to like any type of really like drug prevention? We had our version of like Story Samurai and Fade and stuff like that. But we also had like family life class, which was their version of the Catholic version of sex ed. And it was like very cut and dry with how they like the things I picked up from it was like, don't have sex because you will get pregnant or die, or become a prostitute. Like there was a glossary where it was not sex worker at the time, it was prostitute. So I'm like 8th grade being like, what is a prostitute? And I still don't really know what sex was back then. So I'm like, this is way above my grade level. Like, I am not really sure what I'm learning here. And like, don't do drugs because then you'll be a druggie, you know, and no one likes that. So it was very, I don't think it was the most empathetic or helpful education forms in there. I hope they've since improved.
At my school, I remember vaguely, and maybe this is when I was teaching at high school, so it's you know, because I'm old, but I remember vaguely they're doing a training where they brought like beer goggles, essentially like these glasses, and it shows you what it like the world looks impaired, and then they told like the kids to like, I don't know, ride a bike or while they were wearing it. Like, I can't see anything. They're like, that's how it looks when you're drunk, and like don't do that. And I think they've done like they have like the car simulator. This is not something I did. I think I watched other kids do this when I was doing teaching or whatever, and they put them behind the window of the car and they showed them how hard it is to steer, you know, really simulating what it's like to be impaired. So I remember those. And then of course, as most people know, I live drug and alcohol free. And because of that, and this goes way back to my teachings in Dare, you know, the Fade the father of Fade, the DARE program, which I found out later on was just a pyramid scheme. And dear God, I wish somebody had told me back then, because I was one of those kids. I wrote an essay. I won the essay contest. I got a t-shirt and a certificate. It was a whole thing. And if that lion could see me now, if that lion could see, if that lion could see me now, I've made him so proud. So yeah.
Can I be honest for a moment?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have no proof to back this up, right? But I was not really a straight A student, like model student type, until like 5th and 6th grade. Like once I got into middle school, I kind of got it together. But I have the sneaking suspicion that some of my elementary school teachers just thought I was like a beyond help kid, where it was like, oh, she really needs the DARE program, but we don't think she's listening to it, like that type in there. I can't prove it. I don't know for certain. But I have a sneaking suspicion that they thought I would be the child left behind, if you catch my drift.
They made sure I was in that damn program. Yeah, I would just say that. And I mean, most people in my neighborhood probably should have been in that program. But now, like I said, in my adult age, to find out that DARE was a pyramid scheme, like a literal they really multi-level marketing scheme, they was getting over it. And there's like, look around you. If it was helpful, it'd still be here. It's not here. No one talks about it anymore. So seeing them do this safety day, it did kind of take me back to those days where you showed up at school thinking you were going to learn something, or at least get to talk to your friends. And instead you spent the whole entire day doing the things the adults wanted to do. Yeah. So, you know, this is Abbott kind of reaching back into their bag a little bit. I don't know if they still do stuff like this, the DARE programs and stuff.
I know they do. The one that I have seen through, you know, the news, TikTok, of like crazy cultural norms, essentially, and like in like different parts of it's really the United States. Like this is a very United States thing. They do like in certain areas they do like mock car crashes from like what we saw at the beginning of this episode, and it's usually for high school students right before prom. And there's like and it's like that high school's drama department puts on this simulation like a few days before prom about like the dangers of drinking and driving, because we know that like prom is when people are going to have a grand old time, and basically like scare people into like being on their best behavior. And it's like all of the like, don't drink and drive, don't get pregnant, that's really the big two, but don't do drugs. And it's like, but it's like they have like the crashed car on like the school field. They have like a student, and it's like they use the student's name. This isn't like a character they're playing. So it'd be like your classmate has died because they drank and drove, and then like that person isn't in class that day and all this other stuff. It's like, it's very, I feel like I shouldn't call it culty, but it is. It feels very very dark. It feels very odd for a high school experience, but I never experienced this in my personal high school experience, but I have heard from other people that like this is a thing they did, and it was always right before homecoming and or prom that they did this, and it was like a big event to prepare for.
They're doing this with kindergartners here, and that's just weird to me, because you cannot tell a kindergartner that their teacher died. You know, at one point Ava will grab the microphone, the intercom, and she's like, "Yeah, Janine is dead," and I'm like, "No, don't say that." Like like these kids are not going to be able to handle that.
Was it the car crash at the very beginning? Yeah, where they are saying how basically like they are dead because of that is for middle school and high school age students. That is not something you do to kindergartners, because they take it literally. So that's where you get the story samurai guy being like, "Oh no, like we didn't, no one's actually dead." But yes, so they have that. Whoever decided to make Ava the one to pick who dies during the day, genius. I'm shocked we did not have a third best for Jacob here.
She just couldn't get to him, you know, because Jacob had a side mission in this episode. We meet Tina Schwartz. She is running for the 51st district representative for their school district, and she has no clue what she's doing. Gia, this is such a trope these days in higher ed, but also education in general. We saw years ago Betsy DeVos was appointed to be basically the what is it, in the Secretary of Education or something like that. Only to find out that this lady had never taught in a public school. But like she's like, oh, but my kids went to private school, so I think I can do the job. Like, you have no insight into what the hell is going on here. You've never been in the trenches with these people, and now you think you can make policy. So look at Abbott waving their finger at these people who think, oh, I can just get bored and decide to go and make decisions for people's kids without any type of knowledge of what's going on, any insight, any training, just vibes. And Jacob is hell-bent on making this not happen. He's going to go up against Tina Schwartz at the urging of Ava to actually try to beat her. And that's what takes us into our campaign storyline. What'd you think about our new character, Tina Schwartz? And she's not even that new. She kicked that kid.
She's not new. She's been around, but she's more, I wouldn't even really call her a recurring character because we've seen her so little.
This is her second and third episode.
Yeah, so we don't see her often, but we know her as the woman that kicked a kid. And she came up during the Liberty Charter, I think she's a writer for the show. I think that's why we get her so rarely. Yeah. So the actress is. So she is, she is an Abbott regular, but we just aren't used to seeing her in front of the screen. So she is running for, you're going to have to tell me what the position is, because even after we've heard it so many times in these two episodes, it's like the representative of the 51st district or something.
That is it for the Board of School Representation. Now I'm saying it like she was saying it. The Board of School Representatives for the 51st district. And I misspoke. This is her 5th and 6th episode, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. There. Yeah.
Yes. So she has been around, but we're not really supposed to think highly of this character, right? Like, our first impression of her is she kicked a kid, and then every other time she's a Liberty Charter person that is just mean to the Abbott people because she was fired for kicking a child. But here she's running for this very long position that no one really knows, and except for Jacob, of course. And she is wholly unqualified for it. She does not know what the position entails. She's doing it because she is needs something to do with her time, because all of her friends have kids now. Girl, get a hobby. Like, running for office is not the path. As someone with a lot of friends that have kids, it's like, girl, there are so many other, like, start drinking, do something, something else. Yeah. Get a manageable hobby. But she doesn't know about the policies. She doesn't know, like, what the actual position entails. She can't even pronounce liaison. And so it's clear that even though local politics is not necessarily the at the forefront of everyone's minds, it's definitely at the forefront of Jacob's mind. And he is spending this whole episode trying to get everybody else to care about it. He wants Janine to run initially. He wants advice from Gregory, who's dead, and so he's not allowed to really acknowledge him. So it's a whole thing. Jacob, honestly, at this point is kind of dead inside because both of his besties have died. So he's gone through a lot this episode.
Yeah, he needed a hobby, and he was trying to talk to anybody who would listen about this situation. And of course, it's eventually Ava who would say, why don't you just do it? And he does. This is kind of what Jacob is here to do, right? Like, he will say it later on in his speech when he goes up for the vote here that, like, yeah, he's insufferable, but he will suffer for us. And so in the second episode campaign, we get to see what it looks like when Jacob goes up against this Tina Schwartz lady. And it's fun. I like this so much because, of course, Jacob wants to stay above board and follow the rules and, talk about policy. And Tina Schwartz doesn't know anything about policy. So she starts a smear campaign. And this smear campaign got Jacob on the ropes. They talk about how he doesn't have any friends of color. I was like, no, that's not true. Every friend that we've ever seen him with is of color.
Which is was such an odd point to make.
I mean, he does live with Melissa, but
Yeah, and like his roommate's white, but like he's interacting with BIPOC individuals regularly.
He teaches at a BIPOC school. I mean, I just feel like, of all the things to get at Jacob about, that's how Tina Schwartz wasn't even trying. She was just hitting the low hanging fruit. Like, whatever. He must be racist.
I will say though, she runs a good smear campaign. Like yeah. I want her as an ally more than an enemy.
Oh, for sure. I as much as this character is annoying in this episode, I was like, bring her back. Bring her back for more shenanigans.
I have to admit, she did make me chuckle quite a few times in these 2 episodes. Like, okay, you've got some spice too. You've got a little zest in there. She can fight back. She's not just the annoying ex-Abbott teacher. Like, she's got a little depth to her. I like it. I like her with bangs now. I'm glad. That's a very nice touch.
Yeah, Ava is trying to convince Jacob to hit back. Says, hey, she's saying that you don't believe in ADA compliant schools. It's like, that's all I believe in. It's like, yeah, so say something mean to her. Jacob doesn't want to do that. So he takes the high road and he goes to the podcast club. Here's my submission for students of the week. Cortez and Amani were not having it with him at all. He wanted to talk about policy, and they said, well, let's talk about these old tweets, because why are you liking posts for Mr. Beast when you said Mr. Beast is advocating for human suffering? What is that about? I said, Amani, do you want a job? Do you want to come podcast on recapfeedback.com? Because she was getting down to business.
Amani, like, have you heard about Bet on Black at all?
Right.
Because we would love to hear from you.
We need correspondence. We do.
We need like almost like a news reporter, or what are they? Is it correspondence when you have people like sports announcers
like a man on the street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need them for Bet on Black. Like, those are the individuals we should be hearing from.
They were sick of Jacob's shit. They were bored by his policy conversation. And meanwhile, Schwartz is cooking Jacob on social media. She's like making TikTok parodies of what he's talking about in on the podcast club. And Jacob's back is eventually against the wall, and so he turned his life over into the hands of a miracle worker, the one person you would trust with running your campaign, the Ava Coleman.
With running your smear campain.
That part. Yeah. She steps it up. It was like, do you think I'm a miracle worker? Because I am.
Because I am. And honestly, this is a duo we do not get often. And it is criminally underutilized. My
favorite Ava line in this episode was, what is your stance on test prep? He said, lock her up. That's the stance. That's the answer. So honestly, Ava, do you want my vote? Because lock her up. So the teachers will eventually show up to support Jacob, and thank God they did, because this vote is close. He ends up winning by 1 vote.
I know, right? Like, that was good that he made it there. Too bad Janine and Melissa were absent, but we'll talk about why they were later. And I would say it's worth it. This was the more important side plot of episode 16.
I was having such a good time with this episode because the goal was to come in and out smear campaign Tina, and Tina, the wise lady that she is, she immediately gets in front of the drama, right? She's like, you know what? First and foremost, let me address the fact that I kicked that kid. We actually brought that kid out. Bring the kid out.
Once she started her speech, right, at her opening statement, I knew where she was going with it, right? Smart, right? She knows that the person that is running against her has this very damning evidence in there. But I was not expecting Patient Zero to walk out in all his glory, being a part of Tina's campaign, essentially. I don't know how she found this child. I don't know how his parents let her communicate with their son, but I screamed a little. There was a squeal that came out. I'm like, she really did that damn thing. She would have had my vote right then and there, unfortunately.
When she said forgiving myself was enough, but I went above and beyond. I was like, first of all, go back to that. Forgiving myself was enough. I wrote that down because I can't wait to be like, now look, I've already forgiven myself, and that took a lot, you know. So now that we've done that, let's move on. She said forgiving myself was enough. Let's bring out the kid. Ava said, you didn't even have a limp, you know, like if you go come in here and play it up, you got to play hurt, you know. But he was one of my candidates for Kid of the Week because he really was also on Jacob's neck. When Jacob brings up like, hey, this lady kicked the kid, he's like, yeah, but why do you keep bringing it up? You know, are you trying to get me to relive my trauma? Eventually Jacob realizes, eventually he realizes that he's not playing a winnable game. You know, like you can't out crazy this lady. You either gotta you have to meet her where she is, and she has now flipped over from crazy to no. Why are you bringing up all these things and trying to smear campaign me? Let's talk about the issues. Fortunately for Jacob, she don't know anything about the issues, and so he will end up kind of getting to do what Jacob does best, and that's lecture people on the rules, the regulation, and what he believes is right.
There's one thing Jacob knows best. It is local government policy, and he's the only one that does, so it's really hard to argue with him about it.
Yeah, and it was very close. Like I said, he brought in 3 built-in votes with Barb, Greg, and Ava, and had they not showed up, he still loses.
Yeah. Can we also just point the fact out that like there were 17 people voting in this thing? Like
17.
That is not, she counted on one hand, like she just counted the people in the room, like you're voting like right now, like right this you don't have like a ballot box or something. This was, it was, I wasn't supposed to laugh at that part, but I did. It was funny.
The cold opening of this episode was about Barbara. She shows up with the baby Zara Howard, not legally Zara Howard, but you know what she means.
Yeah.
She comes with the baby. The baby won't stop crying. Yeah, we know exactly what she means. The baby won't stop crying no matter who she gives. I mean, like as long as she has it, but whenever she gives it to somebody else, it will stop crying. Now, we know that Barbara is really good with kids. And in this episode, we will see that demonstrated when Gregory is upset. Gregory is happy that his kids are doing well in their spelling test. He's like, you know, normally I get first graders who are starting at square one. They're starting at 0, and I gotta teach them so much. And he's saying this directly in front of the kindergarten teacher that he's known has been at Abbott forever, and who is the first point of contact for these kids. I thought Gregory had a death wish, because why would you say that out loud in front of Barbara?
And Melissa tried to help him and decided halfway through that she could not work her magic here. This man was beyond help, and he had to learn his lesson the hard way.
Yeah. And so one of the movies that Melissa is trying to teach Barbara about this week is Freaky Friday, or Freakier Friday. And so this time around, she says, oh, well, this is easy. Gregory doesn't respect you as an educator. He thinks that these kids, that he can do your job well. And, you know, you don't agree with him. So let's switch places. Maybe Barbara should take over for Gregory's class and vice versa. And the whole time I was listening to this, I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, Gregory, if you think you can teach kindergarten better than Barbara, then why don't you go apply to be a kindergarten teacher at Abbott Elementary?
Yeah.
You know, like there's a reason why you're doing first grade, sir. And you don't have to.
In Gregory's defense, he did not apply to be a kindergarten teacher either.
He did not apply to be
a teacher. A first grade teacher.
A teacher in general. You know,
he did not apply to be a teacher at all.
Yeah, exactly. But now he's here, and he's being hypercritical of Barbara's kids, and so they're gonna switch it up. And I love the reaction from the kids, right? So Barbara says, "Okay, everybody, first graders, I'll be teaching your class." They're like, "Yay!" Because they already have a built-in relationship with Barbara. She was their teacher last year.
They love her.
They love her. She's had a year to kind of get them situated and used to school. You know, a lot of kids don't go to pre-K.
She has a Funko Pop.
She has a Funko Pop.
That's a big deal. Ignore the Gregory one for a moment.
She's
a big deal. But also, like, I did not go to preschool. I was a at-home daycare type child, which I I think is the best way to, develop social skill. Like, this is how you get street smart, then book smart, right? Like, it's hard out here. But I do think that there is a point, and not that, listen, I would never want to be a kindergarten teacher. Like, Barbara doesn't have to tell me that her job is hard. It sounds difficult, but it's very, but I liked that we actually got invited in to see how much Barbara does to get them where they are when they enter first grade. And Barbara is kind of the stand-in for all the kindergarten teachers of the world when people are saying, what do kindergarten teachers do? You're just hanging out with toddlers all day. No, you're getting them ready for the rest of their educational careers. And as she says, she is the foundation. So really, she is the most important.
These kids don't even want to leave home. They don't want to leave home to go to school. When they're going to school, the teacher is the reason why they feel comfortable. Every kindergartner in the country can tell you about their teacher. They can tell you everything about their teacher. There's like the first grown person that they're not related to that they respect. And so of course they're going to latch on to Barbara. When she says to her, to the kids that Mr. Eddie is going to be their teacher, they burst into tears. And that's why Chappell has always maintained, oh, we don't do first grade. We don't do first grade. We don't do kindergarten. I subbed a first grade class one time. And I think I've told this story before. That kid got under the desk and started crying. And I had nothing for him. I was kind of like, hey, listen to me.
We're both going to get through this.
I was like, you're grown. You need to get up. You're not in kindergarten anymore. And he started to holler. I was like, call your mom. I'm calling your mom because I can't do this with you. When the kids decide that they don't want to be like students and they just want to be children, that's not for me. And Gregory forgot about that part. Gregory is not a guy who can deal with whimsy. He wasn't raised for that. He's learning that now.
For whimsy.
Exactly. And kindergartners be whimsical. And so this does not go well for him. And before the end of the first day, he is begging Barbara to take her kids back.
Yes. And listen, Gregory learned a hard lesson in this episode, but an unnecessary one, because we know sometimes he needs to be humbled a little bit. It happened several times with the principal position, and now it's happening with how he is as a teacher. And I think he took it a little harder than what Barbara was intending for him, but this is a lesson he will not forget. So I am and I think also, just like as people that have worked in the education system before, I think it's often kind of like we are so used to, and Chappell and I are the same in that we don't work with younger kids. Okay, like that is not what we signed up for as educators. But often we kind of but we what's the word?
Take for granted.
Take for granted. Yes, we take for granted for the fact that like these students are already coming in with a built-in knowledge of certain things. Like, we don't have to teach students how to read or write, or any of any of those basic fundamental skills. So we can have certain levels of dialogue with our students that are just not applicable for somebody in like the younger grades, like kindergarten. Like Gregory is trying to tell them, why, and he means the word why, W-H-Y, and they haven't even gotten to the letter Y, so they have no idea what Gregory is talking about here. So I loved this episode. It actually was a little nostalgic for me because we didn't do DARE, right? Where we didn't have DARE as like a fundamental part of our school, right? But we did have a day that would be like teacher swap day. So all the classes would get a different teacher from a different grade, and you hope you get like the teacher that you loved or like the teacher that you're excited to have as you get older. So it was a very exciting memory for me of like the teacher swap day. So this was something that happened like school wide at one of the schools I went to when I was younger.
Gia, we have to talk about the A plot of these two episodes. Mr. Johnson. That's the sentence. We gotta talk about Mr. Johnson. He's stressed because the custodial ball is coming up. It's called the Genesis Ball, and he's very excited, but also very nervous because the blast from the past from our mall episodes, Miss Carol aka Olivia Pope's mom, will be in attendance, and he's not ready to face her. It's been a minute since their mall mance, and what if she doesn't remember him? What if she doesn't recognize him in his uniform? All Mr. Johnson content is good Mr. Johnson content, but we've talked about this before. A lot of these Abbott characters have love interest, we got Janine and Gregory, as we knew we were going to get day one. Jacob and Jabuki, they're kind of robbing us of that a little bit.
I have a comment on that, right?
Go ahead.
I've come to a decision after these 2 episodes.
Are you breaking them up?
I need Jacob and Jabuki to end this relationship.
They got to break up.
They have to break up.
They got to break up.
He doesn't have to go back to Zach, right? But like, we have not seen Elijah in forever. I do not remember his personality at this point.
I don't.
And even like the reminiscing of it, like at least we got Avi, even if this isn't the relationship I'm necessarily rooting for Jacob. We need another O'Shawn moment. We need another Abbott staff member to come in or something like that. Like we need some type of side character that irritates Jacob, but also like they slowly fall in love. And I can just see it now, but we just need something else for Jacob than what we are currently getting for him, love interest wise. I don't know why they're carrying on with this. It's like they're promising us Jabuki. It's like when Ava told us that, well, who was at the first Ava Fest that didn't actually show up? It was
well, it wasn't Jill Scott, was it? Who did she tell us?
Because Jill Scott was there. Questlove was there. It was the very first one.
I forgot who she said. Oh my God. I feel like they got to take away our Abbott Elementary fan cards for this one.
I'm going to remember like 2 hours from now after we're done recording. But okay, it was like that. They're telling us he's in this relationship that he's really happy with, and we never see him, and we don't know his person. Like he doesn't really have a personality as far as I'm concerned. I'm done. I'm done with the Jacob Elijah thing unless we start seeing Jabuki now. I am over it. I am so over this relationship now, and I'm sorry. I feel like I guess I'm not woke. I guess I can't root for real love. I need something different for Jacob. This is not it.
It was Jasmine Sullivan.
Jasmine Sullivan, yes. Jabuki is our Jasmine Sullivan here. We keep hearing about this relationship and how he is with this super hot boyfriend, and we don't see him. We don't ever see him. We saw he was barely in the episode they got together with the karaoke, the karaoke episode. And it was like one of the least memorable parts of the episode. And then now we're here and we're like, we've only seen him like one other time. I'm over it. I need something new for Jacob.
Jabuki on the clock.
Like show up or shut up. I need this is like it hurts my soul to just not be rooting for a queer couple, but they've left me no choice here.
On the flip side, Miss Carol and Mr. Johnson. Okay. They might go the distance. Yeah, we might have to keep this one around. What Ben a baddie.
That dress. I mean, we knew she was a baddie, but that dress.
Yeah.
That was the Genesis ball was ballin'.
This is so much fun. Just seeing Mr. Johnson kind of having anytime we get into his personal life, I'm always very happy with this. Yeah. He's very nervous, and so the fashion club is going to spruce him up. And his 2 ugly stepsisters in Janine and Melissa are going to be there as well to help support him. Eventually, there is a horrible semi-truck accident. The semi-truck full of glitter bombs crashes into a carpet and tile depot. And so they had to cancel this Genesis ball. But because of the work of Janine and Melissa, they're able to bring the ball to Mr. Johnson. And when he gets into the gym, he's able to slow dance with Miss Carol, and I love this so much. This is so good. Yeah, they got Boys to Men playing in the background. Gia, what else?
I cried a little with It's Boys to Men. Okay, I'm gonna cry when Boys to Men comes on. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. It's on Bended Knee. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, it was on it, and it was on Bended Knee. It. I am not strong enough to deal with the Boys to Men segment.
But this was so much fun. I think these 2 episodes, we had a good time. We got some personal moments. We get a new thing going on with Jacob in this campaign. He has a new position. We gotta in future episodes, what's Jacob's policies gonna look like? I don't know.
I'm really excited that they're going this direction for Jacob. It feels more like a setup for season 6 than anything we'll get any real resolution on in season 5. And I'm okay with that. I'm really excited to kind of see this evolution of Jacob into a position. We've been hearing from him for a while that he wants to do more. We saw it a lot last season where he was trying to get his student to find a passion, which ended up being golf, but realizing he can't do what he did for him with every student. And I think this is a way he can help on a bigger scale than what he was initially doing. Not that obviously teachers are not important. I'm not Gregory, okay? I would never say that. But I like this. This feels like a natural step for Jacob and not like a out of the blue jump the shark kind of decision to give him a storyline. And I'm excited to see where it goes. This will be fun.
The next episode is called No Homework. And then what I believe is the finale is called April Fools. Now, the reason I think this is the finale is because the spring episodes, the episodes that like where the finale is in the spring, they've typically been shorter. Like, so basically, I mean, well, what I'm trying to say is every other season has been shorter, right? So season 1 was 13 episodes, season 2 was 22, season 3 was 14 episodes, season 4 was 22. And so here we are at season 5, and we're already to 18 episodes at this point. I think after this next patch.
Yeah. So I think we have to also keep in mind that season 3 was when the writer strike was there. So that's why we had the 14 episode season. Not that I have heard also though that this April Fools might be the season finale.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Yeah, and yeah, it's possible. It's possible. I would not say no to some other episodes because even though we did get to go to the Phillies game this season, we didn't get a field trip yet. And
we did live in a mall for 2 episodes though.
That's
3
not
episodes.
A field trip. That's
just cool.
Purgatory.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. I like the end of season finale, like field trip episodes. And I would love to do something like that. I'm hoping maybe we'll get a few more, but April Fools, we haven't had like an April Fools holiday episode. So I'm excited for that. I really wish we had a St. Patrick's Day episode. I just feel like that would be so fun for this cast. And listen, I've never been to Philly in St. Patrick's Day, but I just feel it in my soul that they get down. So season 6, like Miss Tina Schwartz, I know you're listening to this podcast, so just, make a note.
My prediction about next week's episode, No Homework, is that Jacob is going to try to make no homework a policy now that he's a district representative for the school district. I don't know why. I don't think so. But in my mind, why would they call it no homework if like we weren't going to do something with the policy?
I wonder if it's like a no homework day type thing, like they do maybe like a trial policy. I don't know, because
kids these days barely have homework anyway in real life. Like they don't send kids home with work anymore. Like not in the inner city. Not
the level that they did.
No, homework used to be a staple
back in my day,
right?
But actually, though, I feel like students aren't suffering enough with the amount of homework they get. Like I had like hours upon, and I had to bring the textbook back with me. I was like 60 pounds at that time.
The backpack on.
Not that I weigh more now. I'm at a cool 85.
What waist? What waist?
I'm at a cool 85 pounds for anyone wondering. And but I don't know. I feel like I got severe back pain from my middle school days, and these kids' backpacks look a little light.
They got it too good. Gia, these are so much fun. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
Ooh, I did enjoy these episodes. I think Safety Day was so funny. I had a great time. I think Safety Day is going to be one of my favorite episodes of this season. When we look back at kind of just like the whole span of episodes that we've gotten, but this is a really strong duo. I'm glad that it was paced the way that it was, so we got to talk about like Jacob's arc in one distinct storyline with how the episodes were broken up. So I liked it. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see what these next 2 episodes are. Might be our last 2 episodes of the season.
Might be.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. But Gia, tell everybody what you're working on until we come back.
Oh my God. So, I'm working on a few things. I'm still writing for Inside Survivor, our weekly recaps for Survivor 50 with Christine Palin. So if you are a Survivor fan, definitely recommend that. But also, Chappell and I recently released our first Bet on Black episode about Vecepia Towery and her historic win. And we will be back next week to talk. Don't ask me the specific day. We haven't figured that out yet. But next week, at some point, we will be talking about, for our cooking show fans, we're going to be talking about the most recent Top Chef winner, Tristan Epps Long, and his road to the Top Chef crown and being the second Black contestant to ever win Top Chef. So it's a really remarkable season. The whole cast is fantastic, but obviously Tristan is the star in our hearts. So we'll be talking about that next week. And my writing schedule has been a little all over the place due to this being my busy season at work, but I will be back with more Bet on Black articles on my Substack, which is, yes, called Bet on Black. So I have some ideas going, and I'm very excited to see where that goes. But stay tuned for more announcements. And also, you can follow me on my usual social media accounts. Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok at Classically Gia.
All right. And as far as other recap kickback content coming your way, Jury Duty is out, and I think that man is Black. If the very least he's brown. And so Sarah Carradine and I are going to talk about Jury Duty here on Recap Kickback because we can. Because we can. Mari and I are still talking about what we're talking about. We had our week to we went into the manosphere and talked about the Netflix documentary, but we also talked about our Oscar reactions, and I got to lament my sadness and feel my feelings about Delroy Lindo being robbed at the Oscars. But you can check out our Oscar reactions over there.
I want that included in the show notes for my for my closing statement as well. Delroy Lindo was robbed of his well-deserved Oscar, and he should be a 2-time Oscar winner right now, because you cannot tell me anybody in 2020 was more deserving of Best Actor, not supporting actor for Da 5 Bloods. Okay, you can't do it. You can't tell me anything else. I don't even have to look up who Best Actor was, because I know they were not as good as him. That's it.
Chantel and I are still talking about Flavor of Love, Cinematic Universe, including I Love New York, as we are approaching the end of that series. And then, of course, there's more to come. Matt Scott will be joining me and Marty to talk about Bet on Black soon. Jason Reed is joining us to talk about Cross. The whole series, season 2 is over. And so all of that and more. But you have to subscribe to the podcast, recapkickback.com/subscribe or youtube.com/@recapkickback. Thank y'all for listening, but class is over. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Woo!
I've been trapped behind Suave Maria, isolated like it's North Korea. Smaller city with some bigger dreams. The wall is cracked, I'm looking in between it. The world is yours, but man, I gotta see it. They say it's hard, but man, I gotta see it. The air I'm breathing can't feel my chest. Wait on life, I wanna hold my breath. I'ma get in my goddamn self.